Um, did have a little bit of, I feel like we're talking a lot about Bayern. Um, Jonjoe Kinney, Stevie's boy, at Schalke. This has been kind of an ongoing deal, where Schalke made it clear very early on that they want to keep him. There is no buyout clause, in the loan deal. So at this point, the best that they could get would be another loan, and maybe include an option to buy in that loan. But with the current loan, they would have to figure something out. Um, but it's good that it sounds like the player himself now has come out and said that he'd like to stay and he's really enjoying life in Gelsenkirchen, which is good because it hasn't been necessarily an easy season for them. I mean, we touch on this all the time. They're still not sitting too terribly, even based on their recent, we call it recent form of play, but up until this. Um, but yeah, I'd like to see him stay. I think he's been a good fit there. It would be nice to see Schalke, get a young player from somewhere else and keep them versus losing one of their young players. So yeah, I'm rooting for that deal.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly, it's nice to see a guy who's happy, who's been on that back line that we've talked about, is getting blamed for basically everything, despite all the efforts that they're doing to hold up their end of the bargain. We always talk about the fact that the issues seem to be at the other end of the field. Not that Joshua Kinney can't help there, apparently. But yeah, no, great to see. He came out and talked about how much he loves both the club, but also the city that he's living in. I think that's a huge factor that some people can tend to forget. You got to live in these places too, interact with them. Coutinho and James Rodriguez have talked about this in the past. When they came to Munich, it's a very different environment than they were experiencing in their respective cities of Spain. They're able to go out into these towns and these cities and be a part of the community and not, be overwhelmed with it, not be bombarded, could go out with their families. So I think it's important to remember that, beyond just the club that you're playing at and how they're doing, it's how that environment of your family is, how, your home life is and everything. So it's an important factor to consider. I would love to see him stay there. I think the Bundesliga is so good at cultivating young talent. Schalke's especially good at it, and it'd be a shame for him to go back to his home club and not get the same enjoyment out of it, and have a Bundesliga club suffer as part of that.
Yeah, no, 100%. Realize something that totally, maybe not the biggest news. So I think that Jaden Sancho, and again, take it with a grain of salt because none of this is actually even happening yet. Like just as far as pulling headlines, right? Like what are people talking about? Jaden
Yeah.
Sancho. But the other big one, Jonathan David, Alfonso Davies, man, Canadian national team player, buzzing on the internet right now. Kid's only 20 years old. I really, really I'm a big fan of that Canadian national team. There's some rumblings that Bayern Munich could possibly make a move. And I know we said we're done talking about Bayern for a little bit, but I'd like to see it. I'd really like to see it.
So during our break that we just had before we started this segment, opened up Twitter, saw some more of those rumors that I had seen earlier in the day, and truly wanted to see if you would be the one to bring it up.
And it's tough because this is one of those that it seems like every team is linked with him right now. I'm pulling up one from Bavarian Football Works, trying to see where they pulled their data from. Football Transfers is where they had some information on him. But I mean, just in the Bundesliga alone, they're talking about Dortmund looking at him, Leipzig looking at him. And then also we got Arsenal, were big favorites in the Premier League to potentially splash for him. He's at Ghent currently. He's got 10 goals, 4 assists right now from 33 appearances. I haven't seen him there. I have seen him with the national team. You can pull up some highlights. We can link them to you. He's very talented. I just think that would be so much fun having both he and Davies as well. Young Canadians in Germany.
Yeah, so funny enough, this is actually something that came around a few weeks ago that got thrown into one of our rundowns that we just ran out of time to put in there,
It
but has resurfaced. If you're not familiar with the Belgian league, Ghent, Anderlecht, two of the bigger clubs there. But Ghent is no slouch. So, it may not be in a Power Five league, as we would refer to it over here, but it's a respectable league. He's doing legitimate things over there. And like you said, that Canadian squad is fun to watch and dangerous, certainly dangerous for CONCACAF.
Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't seen. I'm pulling up his transfer mark because I feel like this is another one that, much like Alphonso Davies, you could get at a bargain price right now. Yeah, it looks like he's sitting around 27 million. But I mean, if you look at the graph here on transfer mark, it's got a steep. There's no flattening of the curve there. With that one, it's skyrocketing. Apologies there. That's poor taste, but yeah,
Would
it'll
not
be
be
exciting. We'll
surprised.
see. We'll see what happens with that one. Just feel like Davies got to have in
He's got to
Brazil
be in his
right
ear.
now. Like get my man here. So I apologize, but I felt like I had to bring that one up. That's a big one that's circulating around. Um, Also love his versatility. It's another one of those that can play alongside Lewandowski. He can play underneath. He's got the pace to even go wide a little bit. It'd be fun.
Nice.